Lin Meniu's glare daggered at Yun Jian as if wanting to tear the latter into pieces. Yun Jian's eyes narrowed as she raised her brows, calmly looking at the two approaching girls. They were Lin Meniu's lackeys. Although having no idea why she had entered another girl's body and the reason she had appeared here, the three girls in front of her were no threat. Yun Jian could not fathom the situation, however, she was not physically dormant. She was an ace secret agent who topped the international charts. The victims killed under her name could line up an entire street. The girls in front looked about the same age as her, but one glance at them and she could tell that they were most probably spoiled brats who would be terrified if they just saw a corpse. A smile suddenly tugged at Yun Jian's lips. It was faint yet eerie. The two girls who were closing in on her were stunned, halting their steps as a result. "What are you waiting for? Go. Stop dilly-dallying. Are you waiting for dishes to be served?" Lin Meniu shouted at the girls upon seeing them pause. "Do you know?" Yun Jian spoke suddenly, replying to Lin Meniu. Lin Meniu was taken aback. What? What do I know? Has this bitch turned stupid? Acting like she just lost her memory and here she is now leaving people hanging. Even if that was the case, Lin Meniu would never let such a wretch off easy. There was no doubt about it. "To those who wish to harm me, I'll usually." Yun Jian moved abruptly as she spoke. In the blink of an eye, she was already behind Lin Meniu. Yun Jian stretched her hand, fingers arched like an eagle's claws, and clenched it on Lin Meniu's neck the next second. She heaved a breath of air onto Lin Meniu's back and continued what she was saying. "Twist their neck off, like this." Her hand tightened simultaneously. It was only then that Lin Meniu and her two minions managed to react. Truthfully, it had only been a blink of an eye when Yun Jian, who was still 1 to 2 meters away just now, flashed behind to Lin Meniu's back. Lin Meniu shuddered involuntarily. Had Yun Jian gone insane? How could someone as weak and cowardly as a wimp seem to have transformed into another person just a short moment after being beaten and knocked unconscious? Ah. Inevitably Lin Meniu was infuriated by Yun Jian's threat. She was an ill-tempered girl after all, but would soon realize that she could not speak just at the moment she wanted to snap back. Her neck, gripped by Yun Jian, felt like it was blocked. She could not utter even a word. A hint of panic finally slipped into Lin Meniu. In spite of it, she did not know that her neck would actually break had Yun Jian added more force to her grasp. Killing someone was as simple as eating or sleeping in Yun Jian's previous world. It was only because she had no idea where she was now that she hesitated to act brutally. She did not know if this was a siege. Otherwise, Lin Meniu would have long been a cold corpse. Just as Lin Meniu's breathing quickened and was near the brink of suffocation, Yun Jian suddenly loosened her choke and savagely kicked her down to the floor. The former took a breath of relief. Lin Meniu shrieked, causing her two minions to scramble and help her up. Looking at the pathetic trio, Yun Jian spoke softly, "I've never been a mild-tempered person. You girls wanted to shove my head into that shit-filled toilet bowl just now, so I'm giving you two choices. 1, you jump into the cesspit, or I will kill all of you right now." "Kill all of you" sounded as casual as "have you eaten today," leaving Yun Jian's lips. However, her words made the hearts of Lin Meniu's trio leap to their throat. Cough, cough, cough. Lin Meniu, who was freed, heaved before coughing. Then, she stared at Yun Jian, conveniently ignoring her threat, and feigned a brave front despite her fear. "Yun Jian, how dare you threaten me? How dare you hit me? Do you know who my father is? My father is our school's principal. I want you to apologize right this instant. Or else you can forget about coming back to this school. I'll have my father to expel you immediately." The reason Lin Meniu dared to assault Yun Jian in school because her father was the principal of Xinjiang Town Junior High School. In fact, Lin Meniu would not let Yun Jian go easily even if the latter submissively apologized to her. The current Yun Jian, however, was no longer a cowardly wimp. Apologizing for nothing was never a chapter in Yunjian's book of morals. She wore an odd smile as she went closer to the trio. What do you want?" the girls asked, trembling as they stepped back in unison, frightened when they recalled Yunjian's swift movement earlier. Yunjian, standing before three of them, kept a hinted smile before spitting three words that baffled the girls. "To kill you." Since these three girls were so stubborn, there was no need for them to keep living in this world. Moreover, Lin Meniu had just ordered the two other girls to harm her. Yunjian had given them a chance earlier, yet they were the ones who did not take it. A murderous intent promptly exuded from Yunjian. Forced into a corner by Yunjian's murderous aura, Lin Meniu and girls could only shake uncontrollably without daring to say a word. "Miss, it's here. They've pulled my friend, Yunjian, into the washroom." An anxious yet firm voice of a girl came from the outside just as Yunjian was about to kill the trio. Frowning, Yunjian turned around to have a look. A young girl around 15 to 16 years old came into the washroom, followed by two female teachers. The teenage girl was petite and adorable, but worry flooded over her delicate features. Out of the blue, Yunjian's mind went blank when she saw her face, regaining her composure after she staggered 2 steps back. A fragment of memory that distinctly did not belong to her thrust into her brain. What was going on? "Zhou Jian. Are you okay?" The adorable girl with a petite frame ran over to help when she saw her stumble back as if she was going to fall. Yunjian closed her eyes, opening them 3 seconds later, countless scenes flashing across her mind. She was revived. It seemed that her hypothesis was correct. She had indeed entered another girl's body. For some reason, a chunk of memory had suddenly appeared in her head. All the memory of this original girl had been recovered. The original owner of the body she has transferred to was also named Yunjian. The original owner, Yunjian, was an average 9th grade schoolgirl in Xinjiang Town Junior High School. She came from an average background. Everything about her was ordinary, but she had a delicate and pretty face. It was not alluring. Her features were clean and pleasant, giving off an exquisite tinge to her beauty. Everything that was applied stemmed from her beautiful face. Xinjiang Town Junior High's popular guy, Yuan Yingjun, was a couple with Lin Meniu. Their relationship was known throughout the school and was even showered with praises, thought to be a match made in heaven. Who would have known that Yuan Yingjun was a playboy, flinging his love and flirting with the original owner, also named Yunjian. He had even begun to cling on to and pester her. In spite of it, the girl had always avoided him. Lin Meniu, Yuan Yingjun's official girlfriend, was of course indignant. She was dead set on assuming that it was Yunjian who had seduced Yuan Yingjun in the first place. Thus, explains why Yunjian was dragged to the washroom in between a lesson today, and Lin Meniu had summoned her minions to teach the girl a lesson. Having had enough humiliation and what life had thrown at her after the round of violence, the original owner of Yunjian's body actually relinquished her will to live, taking her last breath, and passed on. Nobody knew how, but she, the slaying god, the ace of secret agents, the legend of mercenaries, had revived as the 9th grader Yunjian, taking her body. This was how the previous episode had happened.